to all the spooks out there. I'm Ange.
And I'm Amanda.
And this is Spine Chilling Chats.
Welcome.
If this is your first time joining us, welcome. You've wandered into the shadows. Hope you packed your courage. If this isn't your first time, welcome back. The spirits told us you'd return. They always know.
They always return.
We are now 2 weeks away from Halloween, and I thought it might be fun to learn some spooky paranormal games we can all play to really up the scare factor on this Halloween. We've all heard of Bloody Mary or Candyman, but there are so many games out there or methods of contacting the other side that many of us haven't even heard of or don't know the rules to playing it safely. Man and I might even decide to try out a few ourselves this Halloween just to see if anything spooky happens. But please do keep in mind that we are in no way experts on any of this. So please do your own research and take care before attempting anything you might regret later in this life or the next. Let's get to it. So the first game is called Red Book. Have you heard this one?
I have not.
Okay. So the first game, Red Book, is a paranormal game out of Mexico where you use a book, a red book to be specific.
What? No
Yeah,
way.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought about that?
To contact a spirit who will answer questions and divine the future.
So hold on. When I know I don't know if you'll cover this or not, but do they do this on Halloween or do they do it the Dia de los Muertos?
It's anytime. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a fun game that they play.
Well, because I know like the Day of the Dead, the spirits are supposed to come back and do all that goodness.
I didn't say anywhere it was specifically for
a specific day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it's also known as El Juego de Libro Rojo, or the game of the red book. To play the game, you need a hardcover red book without pictures and at least one red candle to light the room. The game can only be played with 2 or more people, so do not play it by yourself.
What happens if you do?
The ghosties are going to eat you.
Oh.
Just like you're not supposed to do the Ouija board by yourself. I think it's just a safety in numbers type thing.
Okay.
So the first step is to place the palm of your hand on the cover of the book, and you close your eyes and say aloud, "Red book, can I enter your game?" While you keep your eyes closed, you open the book to a random page and point to a sentence. That should be the answer to your question. You will have to interpret it. If the answer is positive, you can play the game. If the answer is negative or does not make sense, the question may have been poorly worded or contact with the spirit was not established. In this case, you would need to try again and ask if you can join the game. Everyone can take turns asking questions, and the spirit will answer them through the book. To end the game, you should ask, "Red book, can I leave your game?" You cannot end the game until all players have permission to leave.
So what happens if you don't get permission?
Well, it's just like the Ouija board.
Jumanji?
No, like like you have to say goodbye to end it, to break contact. Otherwise, you could have a spirit attached to you. I'm assuming it's the same instance here. You're just wanting to break that contact for each person playing.
Okay.
So here's a story from someone on Reddit who actually played this game. So Lovely Killer Bunny.
That's a good name.
Yeah, wrote this experience. This story is a true event that happened. Do not play the game Red Book. And that was all in caps.
Okay.
We were all in 8th grade and we were all obsessed with abandoned places, traveling, ghosts, etc. And since we knew that we were all departing to different high schools, we wanted to have one last fun time together as a friend group while we still could. My friend group consisted of 6 people, including myself. For the
6
sake
friends?
of, yeah.
We
Good
only
for
have
them.
1. Yeah.
Yeah. You,
we have
well,
1.
I have 2 because
Oh.
Heather.
Oh, yeah. Heather.
Yeah.
Not that we forgot about her, but you know.
No.
But still.
So they have 6 people, including themselves. For the sake of their privacy, I will not be using their real names. My closest friend at the time was Mike. He lived in the house where all of this took place. He was very funny and cool, but his parents were extremely religious, so I'm still surprised that he was down to let us play these games at his house. But you know what? That's the thing. Us people who grew up with strict religious parents, like, we like to dabble because it feels naughty. Like that's how we get off. Doing
It's
stuff
so
we know we're not supposed to do.
hard for me to realize that because you're such a rule follower.
Yes, on certain things. On certain things.
Okay.
That's
clearly
true,
not
though.
religion.
I do like to follow rules.
Yes.
But that's probably the other part of growing up in the household I did.
Yeah.
Then there was Jenna, who I have known since elementary, and she had this weird love connection with Mike. Joey and Caroline were cool too. Joey was best friends with Mike since they were kids. Caroline was very loud and outgoing, and she claimed that she could feel spirits. I still think it's a bunch of bullshit. Lastly, it was Alan and I. He had this disturbing obsessive crush on me, so of course, during the whole sleepover, I was a little uncomfortable. Oh, this was a sleepover?
That's what I was just ready to say.
With boy and girls?
God,
that's scandalous.
Yeah. I'm sure that's
I'm
not all that was
surprised.
getting played that night.
Yeah, I thought that was more shocking than doing the spooky stuff.
Right.
Like, your religious parents are going to let you have boys and girls both stay the night?
Well, I mean, maybe they didn't know. How are you going to get that many people in your house, though?
Yeah. And you know that they're going to be laughing and screaming and that kind of stuff doing this. So, anyways, we had been planning this sleepover for a couple weeks, and it finally started to approach us. We planned to play childish games like Bloody Mary, Baby Blue, etc. I've never heard of Baby Blue.
Me either.
During this whole sleepover and the planning of it, we all promised one thing: do not mess with the ghosts if we do encounter them. The day finally came and we all showed up to school with our regular backpacks, but also a bag with our PJs, toothbrushes, etc. The whole school day was exciting, thinking about all the fun stuff we were going to do after school. And finally, the end of the day came and we all walked to Mike's house. He lived pretty close to the school. It was about a 7-minute walk. All of my friends were loud and funny, which was nice considering that I was sort of quiet. This made the walk on its own to be pretty fun. Yeah, I'm a lot like that too. I think that's why, like, you are very talkative and very outgoing, even though you don't really like people. But when you are with people you do like, I feel like you're a lot more outgoing than I am. Like, you carry the conversation a lot more than I do. I kind of just listen and input here and there. And Heather is very loud and very outgoing that way too.
Yeah.
So I think that's how a lot of friend dynamics work, where one is more quiet and reserved when the rest are kind of louder.
Yes. Yeah. And you know what I was just thinking real quick back on the sleepover? I forgot that he was the really religious one. So his parents being really super religious.
That's what I'm saying. I'm surprised that that's, like, not what they were surprised about.
Right.
They're surprised that they were allowing them to do spooky stuff. I'm surprised that they were letting them have boy girls.
Yeah.
We made it to Mike's place and we all set our stuff down. Mike's family had a good amount of money, so his house was really nice. We spent the first few hours messing around. They went swimming for a little. I couldn't because I was on that time of the month. That shouldn't stop you.
Right. Well, what year was this?
8th grade.
Maybe they were still wearing pads.
I don't know what year it was.
Were you wearing tampons in 8th grade?
You know what? I don't know. I don't remember.
I was.
I don't remember.
Well, I started my period in 5th grade.
Yeah, I think I was in 4th.
So, I mean, I was already in, 3 years in. Like, I was tired of pads. So.
I think that I was probably either late elementary or early middle school when I did tampons. I don't remember specifically.
Then why you let that stop you? Like, jump in that water, girl.
And if you do bleed through, you know what? Just say it's a shark attack. We walked to 7-Eleven to get slushies and candy. We went to a little playground in the middle of his neighborhood to take a couple of pictures for our social media. It must have been more recent then.
Yeah, because social media?
At least 2000. It would have had to have been 2000s. Unless they consider like MySpace, but I wouldn't really.
Could have been.
Yeah. I think it's probably earlier than that. I don't know. So far the day was going completely as planned, and it was one of the best days of my life. We got back to his house, and since it was pretty dark, we played hide and seek without flashlights for a while. It was around 9 o'clock, and it was finally time to start playing the games. And we started off with the game Concentrate on what I'm saying. People dying, children crying, concentrate. Which is a game where you close your eyes and the person behind you states a ritual about several ways you could die. At the end, you are supposedly on the edge of a building in your mind, and the person behind you pretends to push you. Whatever color flashes in your mind while you are being pushed corresponds with how you die. Oh, that is a little different than how we played it. Most of us got colors like blue, white, or green, which means drowning, passing away, and going to heaven, and falling off a building. It wasn't until we got to Alan that we all started to get a little creeped out. It was his turn. We all sat on Mike's bed while Joey stood behind Alan and did the ritual. When Alan was pushed off the building in his mind, he was silent. We asked what color he got, and he said he got the color black. I had copy and pasted all the games and the rules we were going to play into my notes on my phone. I turned on my phone and went straight to my notes, scrolling to find what the color black means. Black. They will die of old age and go to hell.
Wow.
Well, most of us aren't religious, so we just brushed it off and tried it again, and he kept getting the color black. Clearly being disturbed by this, Caroline suggested to play another game. We all agreed. We moved on to a game called Red Book. You play Red Book by getting into a circle around the red book that you have. Everyone playing puts their hand on the cover of the book when it's their turn, closing their eyes and asking, "Red Book, can I enter your game?" You keep your eyes closed and flip through the book randomly, stopping at any spot in the book that you want, and you put your finger wherever you want on the page. When you open your eyes and see where your finger landed, that is your answer to your question.
What if it lands on like the?
Well, you'll read that whole sentence.
Oh, the sentence.
Yeah, that includes the.
Okay.
If you got a positive answer or something related to accepting you into the book, then you can start playing. If it says no or something random, you move on to the next person and wait until it's your turn again to ask. I decided not to play because I had a gut feeling not to play, and I had to read the rules if anyone had questions. It took a while to get everyone into the game, but once everyone got accepted by the book, I reminded everyone that we will not disturb the ghosts if we do encounter them, to which they all agreed. Caroline also decided not to play because she was afraid that she would come in contact with ghosts. So she stayed on her phone the whole time while blasting Lady Gaga in her earphones. The game started and it was boring. Every question we had, it ended with an unrelated answer, and we all started to give up hope until the answers started to become weirdly coincidental. How old are you? He was 13 years young. We all looked at each other. Some were freaked out, some were excited that we were finally getting somewhere. The game continued and the answers were accurate. Is there anyone else with you? The answer: they are frightening. I asked Jenna where she got this book, and she said she just found it on a bookshelf in her house. It didn't even have a title. It was Alan's turn. How did you die? We all started yelling at him to stop since we agreed that we wouldn't ask the question, but he wouldn't stop. He kept flipping through the pages and he was silent, and he wasn't moving other than his fingers flipping through the pages. We kept yelling, but he still did nothing, almost like he was paralyzed. What scared us was when he got to the end of the book, he started flipping backwards and he wouldn't stop. Finally, he stopped. He dragged his finger up and down the page, stopping towards the middle. We kept yelling at him, asking why he would do that, but he still didn't speak. Joey grabbed the book to see where his finger had stopped. We shouldn't speak of this, was the answer. We all looked up at Alan, and he was shaking. Jenna asked him what was wrong, but he just kept shaking. He suddenly just started crying. He put his face in his hands, and he fell into Mike's arms. Alan has had panic attacks before, so we just thought that it was another panic attack. By the time that Mike had calmed down Alan, we asked him what happened. But he said he doesn't remember anything. He said he blacked out. Everyone agreed that we should end the game, but Alan said no. We tried convincing him to leave the game, but he kept saying no. So they continued, which I thought was so fucking dumb. But it was majority rule, and I knew that none of them were going to listen to me. The more they asked questions, the creepier it got. Where are you? The answer was, the door handle was cold. We all looked up at the bedroom door. It was locked. Everyone was scared, so we all agreed to end the game. But suddenly, Alan talked for the first time since his last turn. I have one more question. We all looked at him like he was crazy. We kept telling him no, but then it got back to him. We were expecting him to ask the book if he could leave. What do you want with me? He closed
That's what
his
Alan
eyes.
said?
Yep, that's what he asked.
Okay.
He closed his eyes and flipped through the pages. He stopped at the end of the book, a blank page. He started scratching at his legs and he threw the book. The room was dead silent. He looked like he couldn't breathe. His veins were popping out of his neck and he started breathing hard. Alan, are you okay? Joey was the first one to talk to him for what seemed like hours. Alan looked up at us finally, but he looked mad. He lunged at Joey and he just started scratching at his back and he was breathing heavy. Jenna jumped onto the bed with Caroline and I. I'm not going to lie, I was crying because of how much was going on. Mike yanked Alan off of Joey and he pulled him back against the wall. Joey was able to stand up and stand on the other side of the room. It took a while for Alan to calm down, but when he did, Joey looked as though he was attacked by a wild animal. There were scratches all over his back and sides, some so deep that his blood stained the rim of his shorts. Mike calmed Alan down again, and none of us spoke for about 20 minutes. We just stared at the book and at Alan. Joey spoke first. Okay, everyone calm down. Alan was probably just messing around, right, Alan? But Alan didn't speak. We all knew that he would never do this. He was one of the nicest people I have ever met at the time, and he wouldn't even hurt a fly. We spent the rest of the night calming down and making jokes, trying to forget about what just happened. But none of us could ever forget about this. Words can't even describe every detail about how inhuman Alan looked. Everyone agreed to not play any other games and just watch movies and then go to bed. But even then, no one fell asleep until 3 or 4 in the morning. That morning, Mike's mom found out, and her being the quirky, hippie, religious woman that she is. Okay, that's a different kind of religious.
Yeah.
Quirky, hippie, religious.
That's not like,
yeah, that's
praise
different.
Jesus, I'm going to join a cult.
Yeah.
Type shit.
That's sell all your possessions and, join a cult. And
yeah,
that's what
drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. She had us group hug, and she suggested that we burn the book. I was a little hesitant because Joey and Alan hadn't left the game yet, but everyone else agreed. So we went outside and we gathered around the book. We don't tell anyone about this, okay? Mike said. We all agreed, but I told my dad anyway because I'm really close to him and I was already planning on telling him. I'm pretty sure we all told our parents, but that's it. We let Alan do the honors of burning the book. After that, we just went on with our day. We watched movies and ate cereal. No one talked about it. Everyone got picked up one by one, and when I got picked up, we took Caroline home because she lived a block away from me. I told my dad, and he suggested that he could have been faking it. I just agreed so we could stop talking about it. It's been almost 2 years now, and I go... Oh, so this is still a kid writing this. It's been almost 2 years now, and I go to a completely different high school. They all go to the city's most well-known high school. I talked to Mike maybe once or twice when we asked how school was and when he wished me happy birthday. I've only talked to Jenna once since we shared the same birthday. Other than that, I don't talk to any of the others. We haven't brought up the experience at all. I still have videos of us messing around on Snapchat, and you can see the aftermath of Joey's back. Alan had asked me if I wanted to go out sometime after the sleepover, but I said no. I have an amazing boyfriend now, and I haven't had a paranormal experience since. I still wonder if Alan was actually joking and it was just a practical joke gone wrong, or if we did actually contact spirits that night. All I have to say is don't play Red Book. I don't know. I don't want to say it, but
you're a skeptic.
As is a child writing this, and I'm sorry you're in high school, you're still a child, it loses credibility for me. If this was an adult writing about their experience as a child, I have more inclination to believe it then.
Yeah.
What about you? Do you think it's...
Do I think it's what?
Real. Do you think it happened?
Oh. I've had ghost experiences, and I know you're a skeptic, so I think anything is possible. So I think, yeah, like they definitely had an encounter of some sort. Now, for him to be put in a trance and stuff, I don't know about all that. But to have some sort of encounter with some spirit, yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, going through a book, I mean, especially when it's any red book,
yeah,
you know, like it should be something specific.
Well, they do have to say the magic words.
Yeah, I guess that's true too.
There is some sort of like ritual with it, asking the word, saying the words.
Can we play your game?
You can join. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. But that just makes it. Is the book really necessary then?
Exactly.
Like, why does it have to be a red book? Couldn't you just take any book and speak out loud to the spirits?
Right.
Be like,
and ask to join.
Hey, yeah.
Hey, black book. Hey, blue book.
Exactly. Why?
Yeah.
Why
That's what I'm saying.
specifically
I don't
that?
know about the book, but like definitely some sort of encounter of something. Like he saw something and maybe that's why he's like didn't want to speak because it fucked him up,
Yeah, I don't know.
but I don't know. Sorry,
Okay.
my dog just did on all fours, just jumped straight up in the air onto the couch.
Huh.
He's such an idiot.
So the next one is the picture game. And this one sounded really fun to me. I'd like to try this one.
Okay.
So this is a game I found on theghostinmymachine.com. The picture game is a paranormal ritual game that is oftentimes played at sleepovers with the goal of attempting to summon ghosts present and capturing footage of them with a camera.
Now, how are you going to do that?
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Oh, because aren't they like people just say like the orbs you see floating around, are
I think
spirits?
you're supposed to see more than just orbs.
Okay.
So you need at least 2 participants. The more the better. There is no like specific number though. You also will need a length of string, rope, or other similar material. This length of string should be long enough that when you tie it together, you get a decent sized circle, because in the middle, you're going to be placing a drinking glass with a beverage in it, preferably alcoholic. So, like a glass of wine or something like that.
Is it
Um,
alcoholic or alcohol?
it's an alcoholic beverage.
Okay. All right.
If
Because
you're
whenever
just
I hear
saying,
alcoholic, I just think of people. I don't think of like
oh,
it's an it's,
alcohol.
it's an alcoholic.
Well, yeah, it's alcohol. It's alcohol or an alcoholic beverage,
Okay.
because you're using it as a descriptive word for
Oh, look at you.
beverage.
Descriptive words.
You will also need scissors or a knife or another sharp edge to cut the string and rope at the end. You need 1 small mirror per participant. So, like a compact mirror or something like that, just a small mirror. You need a camera with flash capabilities. Camera phones are not recommended.
So are we really trying to conjure up some ghosts, or are we really trying to like do some freaky stuff?
No.
Cameras and mirrors and
No, you just
rope
listen. You just
and twine.
stop. Stop being a skeptic here. Okay, that's my job.
I just went to the gutter. That's all.
Oh, you're thinking kinky
Mirrors
shit
and cameras and rope and shit. Yeah, kinky shit.
Oh, that sounds like a funner night to me.
Right. Let's conjure up some ghosts and do some porn.
Yeah, right. And then you also need a quiet room. So the instructions are: begin at midnight. Make the string or rope into a circle by tying the ends together in a knot. Place the rope circle in the middle of the room. Place the drinking glass in the middle of the rope circle. Fill the glass with the beverage. Arrange the participants in a circle by seating them around the outside of the rope circle. And here's a note: do not step into the center of the rope circle at any time for any reason. Each participant must place their mirror in front of them. The reflective part of the mirror should be pointed at the ceiling. Turn off the lights. The participants must close their eyes. The circle of participants must hold hands. Each participant must say, one after the other, the phrase, "I trust you." The participants should not speak this phrase in unison. Each participant has to say it individually. So me, then you, then the next person. After each person has stated their trust, all participants should repeat 3 times in unison the words, "The door is open. Please come in."
Ooh.
Yeah. That's kind of creepy.
Yeah, I just got the chills.
That seems more like an intent to, like, you're actually inviting something
them
into your space,
whether it's good or bad. Like it could be a dark.
Yeah, because you're not being specific.
Entity. No.
Yeah, you're just inviting something.
You don't want to open that door.
The participants may then open their eyes. Begin the sitting by having open participant take up the camera. So the first person take the camera. And they must say the words, "I caught you." Then point the camera forward toward the middle of the circle and then take one picture. And then you would pass it to the next person and they would then say, "I caught you," and take the picture. Now, if you are using a digital camera, it has a note here that you should not preview the image that was just taken. So make sure you're not looking at the screen until the very end of the game.
Oh, okay.
The next participant would then say the words, "I caught you," take one picture with the camera facing forward, and repeat this process until every participant has taken 3 pictures. The camera should make its way around the circle 3 times. Note, if a participant begins crying or feeling nauseous, do not allow them to take any pictures. Instead, pass the camera around them to the next person in the circle. After the camera has passed around the circle 3 times, put it down.
So why did they have to do it 3 times? One time's not good enough?
Apparently
they didn't say
not.
why?
They didn't know.
Okay.
All participants must close their eyes and repeat 3 times in unison the phrase, "It is time to go home." This is to end the game.
Okay.
Each participant must turn their mirror upside down then. Then someone will turn on the lights. Using the scissors, knife, or other sharp edge, cut the rope circle open. You then can take the drinking glass outside and empty it. It is recommended that you empty it onto a patch of dirt or earth. You may now review the photos taken during the ritual and then see if you see anything. There are some red flags here, they said, to look for. If any of the following occur, do not proceed. 1 or more participants begin acting in an uncharacteristic manner. What's wrong?
Winston's trying to bark and play with the cat. No, that's my shoe. He doesn't chew him, he just carries him around.
No. 1 or more participants begin acting in an uncharacteristic manner. 1 or more participants state that they are frightened. If the ritual must be aborted.
He's just an idiot.
It's okay.
Oh, okay.
If the ritual must be aborted, you may do so by putting the camera down and proceeding. Oh, now I got a cat. Sunny.
Aw.
This is Sunny. This is Aurora's favorite kitty.
That's my other dog. All right, knock it off.
If the ritual must be aborted, you may do so by putting the camera down and proceeding directly to the farewell portion. If a red flag participant takes a picture, do not look at the picture. Do not continue with the ritual and destroy the camera. So there's a reason.
That's my phone.
To not use your phone, I guess. I wasn't able to find any real life accounts from people who have played this before on Reddit. But I did watch a video from Amy's Crypt as she and 2 other people played this game. They didn't experience anything spooky, unfortunately, either. But if you want to check out their video, I'll have the link in my show notes. So it just sounded fun. I
mean, if you could catch something, that would be cool. You know. Yeah. But honestly, what are the odds? Like, I feel like ghost encounters and things like that come unexpectedly, not when you call them, per se. That's just me.
Yeah.
Just saying. Unless I'm not doing something right. when I call the
know.
ghosts forward.
So our next game is Sarah Sarita. Sarah Sarita is an unnerving Mexican game. A lot of these come from Mexico. They must
What's
be
really going
into
on down there?
into the spooky stuff. It's similar to the Red Book game. Some believe Sarah Sarita was Lucifer's daughter, while others believe that Sarah and Sarita were sisters who suffered a terrible fate. In some places, Sarah Sarita is also referred to as the sister-sister game.
Okay.
So you need 2 participants, 2 coins of the same denomination, and so here's how you play. The 2 participants are called principals. Each participant has a coin. You have to sit on the ground facing each other. Say the words, Sarah Sarita, may I enter your game in unison. Both principals throw their coins over their shoulder so that the coins land behind them. They have to do this together. If both the coins are heads up, you have permission to enter the game. You do not have permission if both coins are tails up. You may try again, but it is not recommended that you do so more than once. Instead, leave the room after apologizing for the intrusion. You may retry later on. Proceed with caution if one coin lands heads up and the other tails up. Both principals must toss their coins again until they receive a clear yes or no answer. The conversation. Once you receive permission, you can start asking questions. Ask only yes or no questions. Begin each question by saying Sarah Sarita, followed by the question clearly. Take turns in asking the questions. After each question, both principals should toss their coins over their shoulders. If both coins are heads up, the answer is yes. If both coins are tails up, the answer is no. If one coin is heads and the other is tail, the answer is maybe. Once you have asked all your questions, say farewell. The farewell is to speak clearly and in unison. Sarah Sarita, may I leave your game? If both the coins are heads up, you may leave the game. If both the coins are tails up, you do not have permission to leave the game, and you must try again. If one coin is heads and the other is tails, you do not have permission to leave the game and try again. Do not leave the game until you have received permission. Keep the coins safe somewhere and do not spend them. Though this game can be played in any location, make sure you play it in a place where the coins cannot get lost. If you lose your coin, the effect might be catastrophic. Dun, dun, dun.
So, again, if they don't let you leave, what happens? You know what I mean?
The boogeyman comes and gets you.
Catastrophic.
Catastrophic, yeah. You can get up to retrieve your coins. Sit down in the original position when you have retrieved them. You may ask as many questions as you like, but if you start getting a long line of maybes, or if you feel something is not right, proceed to the farewell immediately.
Ooh.
Do not attempt to rig the game in any way by using weighted coins or tossing the coins in a certain way to get the answer you want. And here is one Reddit user's experience playing. This is by Incredible Thonk. I played the Sarah Sarita game with my friends. I think I invited something into my home. I do not know how long I have left to write this. It's night, and it's nearly been a week now. The later it gets, the more paranoid I become. I know what's coming. I just don't know when. Okay, before I started this off, I'll give you some background. 1 week ago, last Sunday, I invited my friends over to my place. I'll just call them J and C. It was just some silly fun, going out to get lunch and fooling around. I probably should have been studying for my upcoming exams, but we had a short 2-day holiday, so I decided that it couldn't hurt to invite them around. After we'd gone out to get some lunch, we saw a really funny video of some people playing the Charlie Charlie challenge. It looked like a lot of fun, and we knew that these games were bullshit anyway, so we decided to give them a try. The Charlie Charlie game gave no results, so we tried a few more. We were about to give up and play poker when I found something that looked interesting, the Sarah Sarita game. I won't explain it in detail here because you can search it up. The main rules are 2 people face each other, each holding a coin. Jay and I played while C watched, barely stifling a laugh. To start playing, you both flip a coin. If they're both heads up, you can play, but otherwise you have to ask again. Then you can take turns asking questions and flipping the coin. Heads means yes, tails means no, etc. We were mostly asking stupid, funny questions, but I decided to go all in. I asked, Sarah Sarita, will I die next week? I flipped it. Heads. I mostly laughed it off. It was just a coin, so it was all coincidence, right? Still, though, I was a bit uneasy. Now to exit the game. You need to flip the coins at the same time, and you can only finish once they both land on heads. We kept trying so many times, but it was always tails. Just as we were going to give up, it finally landed on heads. We got up and resumed what we were doing earlier. A couple hours later, we were talking about dreams and hallucinations, which we thought were really cool. Jay started talking about how we can actually have hallucinations by breathing in a special way. I believe it's called holotropic breath work. It sounded cool, so we all gave it a go. I went first. After around 10 minutes, the hallucinations started. I found myself in an infinitely large field, stretching endlessly into the distance. Off to my right was a small, faceless girl. I tried to go over to her, but she suddenly looked at me. She didn't have eyes, but she knew I was there.
Fuck me up.
The faint marks on her face contorted to look like a smile, and the hallucination abruptly stopped. It was so surreal, and I felt very uncomfortable. I'll admit it, I was scared shitless.
I would be too.
Over the next week, I was always on edge. My mental health was deteriorating. I looked like a train wreck. I wasn't doing any homework. I was losing so much sleep because I would always see her in my dreams. I tried talking to Jay and C, and they both said that they'd seen her too. I remembered the question I asked, how it said I would die in the following week. I could barely take it anymore. I was seeing menacing shadows in the corner of my eye, and then they would disappear. I felt like I was being watched. Well, it's Sunday now, and according to this ghost, I should be dead soon. The lights are on, and my doors are locked. I'm not sleeping tonight. I keep hearing noise. Just now, though, I remembered something. There's still one more question I can ask. I grabbed the coin I used to play last week. Sarah, Sarita, am I still playing the game? I think you can imagine what side it landed on. But that's how he ended it. Like,
he's still in the game.
He's still in the game.
And he probably is still in the game.
Yeah. I call this one BS. I call them all BS.
I was going to say, you're very skeptical anyway.
I am. But anyways, I looked up holotropic breath work because I was curious about that.
Yeah.
Which it's just rapid breathing and other elements such as music to put individuals in an altered state consciousness. But I think what you're doing is you're hyperventilating yourself. You're breathing to where you're not getting good breath, and so like you start to see stuff.
Oh. I got really lightheaded and dizzy yesterday.
Yeah, like that,
and like just had to take deep breaths. Like I don't know what I was doing that made me breathe so hard or whatever, but I got dizzy too. So like I get that. I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was from a ghost, but
But it's a practice that uses rapid breathing and other elements such as music to put them in an altered state of consciousness. It was developed by Stanislav Grof as the successor to his LSD-based psychedelic therapy.
there it is.
Following the suppression of legal LSD used in the late 1960s.
There it is.
Side effects of the hyperventilation aspect of holotropic breath work can include cramping in the hands and around the mouth, as the express goal of holotropic breath work is to attain an altered state. It should not be attempted alone, because you can probably stop breathing and actually die. Following a 1993 report commissioned by the Scottish Charities Office, concerns about the risk that the hyperventilation technique could cause seizure or lead to psychosis in vulnerable people caused the Findhorn Foundation to suspend its breathwork program. So don't try it, folks.
No. And you know what I just did?
What?
I looked over my fucking shoulder because I saw your little haunted house in the background and I thought it was behind me. And I was like, where'd that come from? And then I looked and there's nothing fucking there because it's behind you. Yeah, don't call ghosts and do LSD. Not a good combo.
Well, you're not doing LSD. You're just hyperventilating to get a psychotic effect on your brain.
Either way, drugs are bad.
Yeah. Okay, so the last one.
Okay. Save the best for last.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is the Ouija board.
Okay.
And just because it's probably the most infamous paranormal game, we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
How it was created and how to use it safely, or at least as safely as one can use it. The Ouija board, often called a talking board or spirit board, has a fascinating history rooted in both mysticism and commercialism. Here's a condensed overview. The Ouija board emerged during the rise of the spiritualist movement in the mid-19th century. Spiritualists believed it was possible to communicate with the dead, and seances became popular. During this period, mediums used various methods, including automatic writing and table turning, to contact spirits. The Ouija board, as we know it today, was patented in 1890 by Elijah Bond, a lawyer, and Charles Kennard, an entrepreneur. Bond's sister-in-law, Helen Peters, who was, Bond said, a strong medium, who supplied the now instantly recognizable handle, Ouija. Sitting around the table, they asked the board what they should call it. The name Ouija came through, and when they asked what it meant, the board replied, "Good luck."
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Eerie and cryptic, but for the fact that Peters acknowledged that she was wearing a locket bearing the picture of a woman named Ouija above her head, the story that emerged from the Ouija founders' letters, it's very possible that the woman in the locket was famous author and popular women's rights activist Ouida. So it's spelled Ouida, whom Peters admired, and that Ouija was just a misreading of that name.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, they're saying she kind of just used that to name it.
Okay.
The board didn't really tell them what it wanted to be named. She just kind of
did it.
Looked around and was like,
"Oh, look at that picture. Let's just take that name."
Ouija. Yeah. 91 businessman William Fold took over production and is often credited for popularizing the board. He claimed he invented the board, although this is historically inaccurate. Under Fold's direction, the Ouija board became a commercial success, marketed as a fun parlor game rather than a serious tool for contacting spirits. By the early 20th century, the Ouija board was widely accepted as both a game and a mystical device. It became especially popular during times of crisis, such as after World War I and the 1918 flu pandemic, when many sought to contact deceased loved ones. In the mid-20th century, particularly after its depiction in popular horror films like The Exorcist in 1973, the Ouija board became associated with sinister forces. Some religious groups condemned its use, considering it a gateway to demonic possession. Despite, or perhaps because of its controversial reputation, the Ouija board remains popular today. It continues to be sold as a board game by Hasbro and is associated with the supernatural, and its association with the supernatural persists in popular culture and paranormal circles. From its origins as a spiritualist tool to its status as a pop culture icon, the Ouija board remains a blend of commercial curiosity and mystical intrigue. So let's get to how to use the board. So to set up the board, you need to first find a quiet place with no distractions. You'll need to focus to connect to the spirit world. So choose a place where you feel peaceful and relaxed. Then silence your phone and any electronic devices so you won't be interrupted.
Do you really have any kind of place that you can be quiet and alone when you have children?
No, well, I would assume you wouldn't do this around children.
No, but if they would,
even though it's supposed to be a family game.
Exactly.
8 years and up. You might have heard that it's dangerous to use the Ouija board at home. As long as you do it safely, there's no reason to worry. If you're afraid, you can always use it outside or at a local park. Leave the lights on if it makes you feel more comfortable. Spirits can feed off of energy and sense fear, so being really afraid can make you more of a magnet for negative spirits.
Oh, I'm afraid of money. Is that going to work?
I know, you're going to attract some money now.
Right. It's a magnet.
Number 2, don't use an Ouija board in a graveyard. Doing a seance in a graveyard is #spooky goals, but graveyards can have chaotic spiritual energy. While it might make for a great story, you could have trouble connecting with a single spirit in a cemetery, and you may wind up with an unwanted entity. To be on the safe side, pick another spot to use your Ouija board. Number 3, cleanse the space of negative energy. A cleansing can help protect you while you talk to the spirits. Try burning rosemary, lavender, juniper, cedar, bay leaves, or lighting incense to purify your space. You might burn myrrh and frankincense, dragon's blood, copal, or amber. You could also surround your Ouija board with crystals or a circle of salt. If you have crystals, you could use black tourmaline, clear quartz, or amethyst. I said that wrong?
No, I can. You see Winston's nose?
No. Well, my phone's in the middle.
Oh.
I can't see that way over.
Well, his nose is going to be in it, and so is his ears.
That's okay. He's cute. Number 4, cleanse your board. Your board can hang onto energy, so it's a good idea to cleanse it. If you have sage, light it and waft the smoke over your board and pointer. Alternatively, sprinkle some rose water over the board while saying a simple protective prayer. You can even make up your own. Now, a note with the sage, it is now not cool to use like white sage because that's cultural appropriation for the indigenous people. Too many people were thinking it's neato to burn sage, and they're worried about their crops being able to supply enough for their own people's rituals.
Okay.
So, like I said earlier, you can use rosemary, lavender, juniper, cedar, bay leaves instead.
And you know what today is?
What?
Indigenous People Day.
Oh, see?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it won't be when this comes out.
No, but we're recording on Indigenous People Day, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And fucking Christopher fucking Columbus.
Hey, you know what? I was born on Christopher Columbus Day back in 1987 because it's like
yeah, but he's such an asshole.
Oh, I know. He's an awful person. Or he was an awful person. So that's the closest I got to being born on a holiday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because Anja's birthday was 2 days ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. She's getting old just like me.
Not quite as old as you, though. Okay. So, anyways, you can cleanse your board. An example of a protection prayer is, I clear this space of all negativity. I clear the space of the energy of people or things that have no purpose in this household. I ask that this clearing be gentle and that all of this energy be returned to its source. Number 5, you can light black candles to protect you from negative spirits. Black candles repel negative energy, so they make it hard for bad spirits to connect with you. Plus, burning candles will give the room some ambiance while you're using your Ouija board. White candles can also help remove negative energy. You might also burn a blue candle to help open the lines of communication between you and the spirit world. So to prepare everyone, you need to gather at least 2 people to use the Ouija board with you. You need multiple people to build up energy and channel the spirits. Additionally, it's helpful to have someone who can take over and close out the session if you can't continue anymore for any reason.
So you don't have to ask to leave if you can't continue?
Well, I still think that someone has to close out the session.
Yeah, but individual people to leave.
Yeah, but you don't have to
be like, can I leave the game or whatever?
Each person. It's just as a whole.
Okay.
I think. If you have more than 2 people, you might have one person write down what the spirit is spelling so it's easier to read the messages. Number 2, make sure all participants are in a good mood. Spirits can feed off of your energy, so good vibes are essential. If you're feeling upset, you might accidentally attract a bad spirit. Similarly, this is one
of those hard words again. Didn't we say this before? I think I was trying to say it.
Similarly.
Whatever.
Yeah, you might have a bad experience if you're feeling afraid or anxious. To attract positive vibes, use your Ouija board when you're feeling upbeat. And stay sober. No one can tell you how to Ouija, but you'll be more in control if you're sober. You might hold off on the drinking till after the game.
Oh, I'm sure it'll drive you to drink.
You might need it. 3, ask each participant to do a spiritual cleansing. Doing a cleansing ritual helps dispel the lingering bad vibes. So cleanse your space, cleanse your board, and cleanse yourselves.
I was just going to say that.
Basically.
Right.
So you can try to meditate, say a prayer, take an herbal or salt bath prior. The best herb to use is lavender for that. So, talking to the spirits. Number 1, set a positive intention for your session. As a safeguard, you might say out loud that you're only interested in talking to friendly spirits. That way, you're not purposely drawing a negative entity to you. We welcome friendly, positive spirits to talk to us. This is a pure, positive space. Are there any good spirits who wish to speak with us? Ask the spirit to introduce itself. You'll get an idea of who you're talking to and the ghost will feel better about talking to you. You don't have to talk to a spirit that makes you uncomfortable. You might ask, "What's your name? How old are you? Where were you born? When were you alive?" Number 3, be careful what you ask. Stick to positive questions to stay safe. You can technically ask an Ouija board anything, but some questions aren't a good idea. You could upset the spirit, or you might get a rude answer. Do your best to ask questions that will keep the good vibes going. Number 4, don't ask for a physical sign that the ghost is there. It's so tempting to ask for proof, but resist the urge. To be on the safe side, don't give the spirit permission to do anything outside of the Ouija board. Also, keep in mind that some spirits won't have the ability to interact with the physical world. Stick to communicating with the pointer. Instead of saying, "Is someone here? If so, make a noise," just ask, "Is someone here?" and wait for the pointer to move. Number 5, be polite to the spirit. Spirits can get annoyed and upset just like anyone. While you don't need to worry, it's nice to treat the spirit with respect. Don't ask questions that might offend, and don't make jokes at the spirit's expenses. That way, you can avoid any unwanted negativity. Don't ask things like, "How did you die?" or "Why are you a ghost?" because it might upset the spirit.
I could see that.
Yeah,
Like,
trigger warning.
Don't fucking ask me how I died, asshole.
It was awful.
Right. I fucking died.
I died.
God.
Also, don't ask, "Will any of us die soon?"
Oh
Because
my God.
spirits can't see the future. They could get annoyed and might decide to prank you by giving you an upsetting answer.
Now I disagree because Scrooge had a spirit of the future,
That's true, he did.
present,
And we
and
all know
past.
Disney knows what's up.
Exactly. So somebody's wrong here.
I know that Disney didn't make The Christmas Carol.
But the Muppets. I like the Muppet one.
Yeah, that's my favorite one too.
Me too. Yeah.
I really like the Muppets Treasure Island. And when they go, "I've got cabin fever," and he goes, "I've got it too." That's my favorite Muppet movie. But the Christmas Carol's good too.
Yeah, I like that one.
Number 6, take everything the board tells you with a grain of salt. Just like people, spirits can lie. A playful or mischievous ghost might try to prank you with a mean message. If the spirit says something upsetting, it's best to just ignore it because the spirit is just messing around. Spirits aren't fortune tellers, so they can't predict your future. So you don't need to worry about scary predictions from the Ouija board.
Oh.
7, do not take your fingers off the planchette. Never raise your hands off the planchette because this is just like stopping without saying goodbye. This could let the spirit out. Never do this.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will take that thing to the bathroom with me if I have to.
Well, you got everybody. They've all got to keep their
That's fine.
fingers on it.
They'll all just come and help me go to the bathroom.
Come with me. So to end the session, number 1, end the session early if anyone feels uncomfortable. Stop using the Ouija board if you sense any bad vibes. Say goodbye right away and move on to another activity if things get too scary, which includes the pointer moving in a weird way. You can always try again when you feel better. Using a Ouija board should be fun for all of you. If it's upsetting people, it's probably best to do something else. Number 2, say goodbye to end the session. Some people believe that not saying goodbye could leave the door open to the spirit world. Sometimes the spirit will end the session first by moving the pointer to goodbye. If that doesn't happen, thank the spirit and push the pointer over to goodbye yourself. Always say goodbye, even if you don't get any contact, just in case a spirit is hanging around but didn't move the pointer. After you say goodbye, flip the pointer over so it won't start moving around again. 3. Burn rosemary, lavender, juniper, cedar, or bay leaves again to cleanse away any lingering energy. You really don't need to worry, but you might feel more at peace if you burn those cleansing herbs after using your Ouija board. Just make sure you open a window or door first so the energy or spirit has a way to leave.
Yeah.
You might
get the
also
fuck out of my house.
Shoo. You might also tell any spirits they have to go. An example is, any spirits lingering in this home must leave. All spirits need to leave this home. Number 4, store your board and pointer after you use it. Pack up the board and place your pointer in a bag. Make sure the pointer isn't positioned over the letters on the board because some people believe that spirits can use the board without you there. If you want to use your board as decor, just make sure the pointer isn't sitting on the board. Keep it put away until you are ready to use your board again. And then this is the story I found on Reddit. This is submitted by Ty Lass in the South. My dumbass friends and I thought it would be fun to convene with the spirits pretty much daily one summer. We'd regularly break out a homemade one to see how goofy we could get. Because it gets too hot to do a damn thing outside during that time of year, we had to find things to keep our 14, 15-year-old selves entertained in, let's call her, Jennifer's tiny little house in the 90s. Things went from casual and believable, I'm a teenager who died in the house fire, and I'm an old woman who died of natural causes, stuff like that, to disturbing. I have never had a body, but I am able to experience life down here if you say you accept me.
Oh.
For those, we'd always take our hands off and demand a new spirit. Well, there's your first mistake. You're not supposed to take your hands off.
Right. So now you're stuck with the asshole.
Yeah.
It's your own fault.
Amateurs. After what was essentially auditioning them, the gang and I managed to settle on a rather gentle entity who went by AJ Duke. AJ said we could talk to him pretty much whenever we wanted. He was 8 years old and didn't want to cross over because he liked watching people go about their lives and has been doing this for hundreds of years. Sounded like BS, but whatever. It was an Ouija board. All of it was kind of bullshit, right? Oof. It was all well and good for about a week or so. He would tell us things about other people in the neighborhood in his usual shitty spelling, and it was always hot tea, haha. We always were so polite back and forth with the thank you and you're so adorable. OMG cringe, I know. And we'd occasionally bring AJ up in jokes and casual banter when we weren't playing. He was kind of like a fourth wheel for a few days there. Then it got weird. AJ revealed that our playing was attracting bad spirits onto the property. He said we shouldn't talk as much anymore, but if we asked for him when we started, he would try to take up the space so they couldn't talk to us. We felt so protected by this little dude, corny as it sounds. AJ was always around and game to talk when we sat back down to gab. Soon, though, we started noticing the damn thing getting faster and stronger. Our arms would feel pulled this way and that, and go to letters faster and with incredibly skillful precision. Increasingly, we'd end up putting the board away because the vibe started to feel super sour in the room. It's gross to say, but the gentle aspect that we liked about this spirit was replaced with wording that was not only better spelled, but sexual and catty in nature. And even though we'd put the fucking thing away once it got all weird, we'd go right back to it later in the evening or next day. It was in compulsion. One night, Jennifer's older sister stopped by to visit their mom, but decided to hang out with us for a while. It was literally the first time she'd ever did this, and it felt really cool to have someone who was pretty popular in high school kick it with us. When she came into Jennifer's room and saw the Ouija board, she got instantly piqued. We showed her what we usually got up to, and she was skeptical at first. She said, "I'm going to go in the hall and hold some fingers up. Let's see if the Ouija board can get it." So she does, and one by one, it kept nailing it. Now that's surprising. If this is true, like that would be pretty good proof to me if it's knowing what she's holding in the hallway without any of the people seeing.
Right.
You could see the smirk wipe off her face and go into something akin to fear. Then you could see the fear go into a desperate curiosity. She sat down and played with us, getting some gossip about her parents' divorce that we didn't even think to ask about. It didn't take long for the sexual catty stuff to get cranked up. She was looking at us with a face that also felt the air shift. When we did our usual bellyache and hands-off ritual over it, though she protested, she thought this was when it really gets interesting. And what did that damn thing suggest we do not 5 minutes after we decide she might be right? It suggested we hold a seance. Guess what gang went along with it because cool big sis got super excited at the idea. Sigh. So we did. The board told us to get into a circle and hold hands, then call for a spirit to appear. Mind, the Ouija isn't spelling things out as cleanly. It'd be something like circle without the E, just CIRCL, and then hold hand, invite, and that's the good spelling. Anyway, we do as instructed. Nothing was happening at first, in spite of Big Sister's insistence that if you're there, show us a sign on repeat. Still, our big round eyes would look around at one another. I'm not sure if we were hoping something would happen or if we were waiting for another to call it off. Nobody wanted to be the ultimate nerd, though. And if we played our cards right, we might get to hang with her crew as they smoked cigarettes between classes and generally looked beautiful and badass. If you're there, do something, she commanded. Newspaper clipping taped to my friend's mirror flicked, and we all jumped, but she confirmed it was a ceiling fan and said it does that periodically. Whew. There's maybe another minute of Big Sister making demands, and I was certain someone was going to speak up and break the circle. But Big Sis dropped. "If you are here, I give you permission to show yourself." Not a moment after she uttered those words did she leap off her feet and scream while pulling her shirt off. "Get off me!" She was screaming, and Jennifer immediately hopped up and pulled the cord to turn the light back on. Her big sister threw herself back first into the wall as though smashing an invisible something that was on her. I remember a single stream of spit hanging from her mouth as it hung open for a moment. It was just really odd to see a cool person looking decisively not, but I digress. It was fucking terrifying. She spun around and screamed, "What is it?" over and over, and just below her bra strap there were 3 scratches, in some places deep enough to draw a bit of blood. We instinctively huddled around her, cloaking her in a protective shield, but had no fucking clue what to do except move that huddle downstairs and into the living room where her mother was watching TV. She leapt up and looked at Big Sis's back, and we frantically explained, "I hate that I drew this out, but it literally looked like this. And there's a link with a picture, I guess. Y'all, that shit said AJ in welt and blood. AJ. Her mom made us burn the damn thing. She kept saying, I told you not to mess with it. I told you. And in rare fashion, Jennifer didn't utter a word to protest. She just asked advice on the best way to burn it. Strange bonding experience standing in the backyard at night and watching her mother, usually quiet, sullen, and withdrawn those days, put one arm around Big Sis and use the other to continually douse the doomed board with lighter fluid. I never did get to stand outside with the cool kids. If anything, she pretended not to see us even harder. LOL. That was her story.
See, I don't know. I've played with the Ouija board before, but like I've never had any experiences with it, so I'm a skeptic on that one.
I've never played the Ouija board.
Oh.
So I have no experience with it. But again, like Robbie and I have talked about it on several occasions because I think it would be fun. But he just says, I really don't think Hasbro like has a connection to the spirit world. And he is absolutely right. Like,
yeah,
you know, it'd be no different than playing with the Monopoly board. Okay. Like,
that's true. That's true.
But I guess it's probably less about the board and more about the inviting the spirits in.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But I have read, like, that was a pretty tame story compared to some that I have read or heard about using the Ouija board, like crazy stuff that has happened. But then again, I've read a lot where people say nothing happened. Like,
right.
It's BS.
So like, are these people making stories up or what?
And that's the thing. Like, I have such a hard time believing. I want to believe so bad. Like, I want to have an experience.
Yeah.
But I've not experienced anything. So it's hard for me to believe that spirits are real, that they can contact us, that they can affect things, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I get
I'm
what
a
you're
see
saying.
it to believe it kind of girl.
Yep. And I did see it, so I believe it. But when it comes to calling them forward and games and stuff, like, I don't know. You know? So.
I don't know either. But there you have it.
We're about to find out, though.
The picture game, Sarah, Sarita, and Ouija. And we're going to try some of these in our Halloween episode. It'll come out the 30th. So it'll be a day before Halloween.
Yeah.
But we're going to try one of these or a couple of these. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll have to figure out which ones we want to do.
Yeah.
I definitely want to try the picture game.
Yeah.
So I think that would be fun.
Yeah, I agree.
So we'll have that on video so you guys can be there to experience it with us. And it'll be cool. I think.
So you just join us and watch.
Yeah.
Watch us be fucking taken by ghosts and scared. Yeah, we'll do it for you.
I'm probably going to be the biggest chicken, even though I'm the one that doesn't believe.
Right. Yeah.
We used to, my husband and I, we used to go ghost hunting with Corwin, my brother's good friend from high school. And like we would go to random like cemeteries or Prim Road that is supposedly haunted, and we would try to get EVPs and stuff like that. It was something fun to do in our early 20s,
right? When there's no kids and you have all the freedom.
Yeah.
Yep. We used to go, not not ghost hunting, but we used to go to haunted places like Moore's Chapel, try to see if we can see anything, and a couple other places.
Yeah.
Nothing ever happened.
No, us either.
Yeah. Kind of bullshit, but whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, and the whole time I was on Mackinac Island, I had no idea it was supposed to be highly haunted. Like, I didn't feel anything weird.
Oh, see. Yeah.
I don't know. I would like to go to a place that is supposed to be like a haunted hotel or something, or a building that it's supposed to be like undeniably haunted. I'd like to go someplace like that and just see if I feel any different, or if I'm just a mute to all this.
Like the Lizzie Borden house.
Yeah.
Or an old abandoned insane asylum.
Yeah.
I think I sent you a couple. I don't know if they're houses or hotels or whatever that were haunted places.
Yeah, we send each other.
I know so much
all the time. It's hard to keep track of all the places we want to go.
Yeah, but yeah, I want to do that too, just to see if I feel different.
Yeah,
because I'll get like weird, eerie feelings, even when I'm alone, like somebody's watching me, or like there's just something here, not here in my house. I mean, yeah, here in my house, but like just near me. Like I don't know. I want to know if a legit haunted place that is known to be famously haunted gives me that same feeling.
And see, I don't get those feelings, except if I feel like creeped out. It's usually because I'm afraid of humans around. Because I'm hyper aware that there are crazy people in this world who want to do harm. And so I think a lot of my uneasy feelings that I get are more towards
real people.
Is somebody going to jump out and try to hurt me or my family, and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I get that. I get that. Okay.
But, yep, that was some paranormal games you guys can play. But again, please do your own research, set positive intentions, have some fun. It's all in good fun.
Yep.
But hopefully this spooky season will put a chill down your spine.
Yep.
And you'll think of us.
And I'm covering most haunted roads in the U.S. And there might even be some overseas too that I'll throw in there. But yeah, so we'll see most haunted roads in the U.S. next week, or next week. And hopefully it's exciting.
After that's our
Halloween.
Yay! Well, we hope you guys had fun. If you have any paranormal experiences or glitches in the Matrix or any alien abductions, fucking fairies, send your stories into us.
Yeah,
we want to hear
serial killers in general, some murders, anything. We cover everything. So send us stories. We can research them, or we can use your story, but we can omit your name if you don't want to. We can give you credit. Let us know.
Yeah. You can send those in to spinechillingchatspodcast at gmail.com, or you can go to our website, www.spine-chillingchatspodcast.com, and there's a link there to message us, send us an email without using your actual email if you'd rather go that route.
Facebook message us.
Yeah. We also have a link for our merch store on our website. So there's a lot of spooky stuff on there, guys. So check it out.
Yes, a lot of cool stuff.
Get ready for the spooky season. It's going to be over before you know it.
I know. I'm so sad. It sneaks up on you, then it's gone.
Gone. Yep. Like a flash.
Yep.
So. Check us out on TikTok and Instagram also.
YouTube.
And of course, YouTube. You can see us in video form if you would like, instead of just hearing us talk. So check us out. Amanda needs a nap.
Yes,
apparently.
I'm over here yawning, trying not to fall asleep.
I know I have to go get Rory here in a minute.
Oh, it is 3. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed. We really appreciate you guys listening. Please share with your friends, your families, your enemies. We really don't care. Just share.
Right. Just share it.
Just share it.
Yep.
Oh, we hope you come back, and we hope you
Keep it spooky.
Bye.
Bye.